Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my! It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olson and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girls.
Everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another fascinating episode of Supernatural Girls. I am Helene Olson, and you can find me at angelslighthouse.com. We encourage everyone to go right on over to supernaturalgirls.com and add your name or email to our list, because we do send a fascinating newsletter every week. But beside that, by putting your email address right on our list, you're automatically entered for our weekly giveaways. And hello, fabulous Patricia.
Hi, Helene. Good evening. What a lovely rainy night it is here in Massachusetts.
We can always use the rain, and it was so funny, Patricia, and I know you have an extensive lawn. I have a postage stamp, and went to bed one night, and the grass was just kind of there, and then I woke up in the morning, and it had grown about 4 inches.
Time to dust off that lawnmower.
Yeah.
But I'm funny about that. You know, I love to mow the lawn. I'm like a weirdo when it comes to that. I got into it a few years ago. I took the job over from my husband, and now I wait for the grass to grow, and when it does, I just get so excited to go out there and mow the lawn. Is that weird?
No, because you know what? I view your lawn mowing as a Zen activity,
really
because
is.
I know for a fact you have a little machine you sit on. So it's a little different than hauling out the old gas lawnmower.
And you know, you're right. I feel very in touch with nature when I'm out there on my riding lawnmower. Really do.
Yeah, and I could see that. I could see myself doing that. That wouldn't bother me so much.
Hey, there's no phones out there, and it's peaceful except for the lawnmower making a little noise. But, yeah, I think it's a great experience. I highly recommend it to all women who have not had this experience yet. They don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, but you got to admit that the gas mower doesn't have as much allure.
Well, you mean the push mower?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, push mower doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It's got to be the sit-down mower, you know. That's the only way. If you can do the sit-down lawnmower meditation. I
think if I had a sit-on mower, I'd just, go in one little circle, around and around.
That
would be it.
You feel like you're stepping into another reality, right, with your lawnmower. It's great.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So, let's see. What are we going to talk about tonight? First of all, we have the fascinating Chantal Monte coming on. And you can find her at chantalmonte.com, and that website is linked right up at Supernatural Girls. We'd also like people to call in at 646-478-0828 if you have a question about Kundalini energy for Chantal. And she has such an interesting background that I think this will be a really great story.
Yeah, she's a beautiful, beautiful lady, and she has this exotic background. I mean, it's just amazing the way she has grown up and with traditions that normally people in the United States are not exposed to. Plus, she has this immense knowledge about Kundalini. So and she can also identify blocks. So wherever people have a block with their Kundalini energy, if it's, in one particular area of the body or one particular chakra, Chantal can tell that person where it is. And that's an amazing gift. So we're very lucky to have her here, because this is a very mysterious energy, and it's quite powerful. But there's not a lot that is known about it in actually in North America. I mean, it's new, relatively new to us. So we're lucky to have Chantal here.
Yeah, and I don't want people to be afraid of it because there have been reports of people opening the Kundalini energy and almost going crazy and being overwhelmed and all that kind of stuff. But Chantal really deals with it in a very delicate and gentle way. Isn't that correct, Patricia?
It is correct. This is exactly the point, is that it doesn't have to be this rough ride. And Chantal is very good at calling in the Kundalini energy in a gentle way. And so it first comes right through the heart. And she's going to do a Kundalini meditation for everybody to call that energy in at the end of the show. So everybody stay tuned. It is going to get really exciting. And also I have a little bit of paranormal news about Kundalini energy. And again,
Great.
This goes back thousands and thousands of years, and a lot of people attribute this first to the Hindu culture. But there are some that are actually saying that this energy was gifted to us by the Anunnaki. So you're talking about extraterrestrial energy being involved in this, which is a very interesting angle to Kundalini energy. But overall, people talk about it in the way that is so transformative. It's your connection to the universe, and there is a way, there's several ways apparently to awaken Kundalini energy. Some people say they have success doing Kundalini yoga and it awakens that energy, and other people say they've been awakened by someone who has it active, a type of a guru who touches them and awakens it within them.
Oh, I believe that.
Yes, you would, given what happened to you in the grocery store.
Well, beside that, I mean, most energy workers, I think, can help people open their third eye and do other things, and that people want in their system. And so I'm not surprised that someone could actually open Kundalini energy inside someone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this activation is what it's referred to. It can be quite powerful, and that's what you were mentioning a minute ago. Is it can be that overwhelming, where somebody could feel that it's out of control, and that's not a pleasant experience from what I hear. So this is why it's so great that we have Chantal coming on the show to talk about a more gentle way to approach awakening this energy. But it's been called a coiled serpent. I mean, there's lots of different names. There's all different kinds of beliefs about it. In fact, I was reading one piece of information that says that the sacrum, which is where all this energy, the root chakra starts, that is actually the Holy Grail. So there's so much symbolism here. There's so much to be discovered, I think, still about the power of Kundalini energy. So
let me ask you a question on the Anunnaki. Where did that story stem from?
It's been traveling around with different people who claim to have this knowledge of Kundalini energy. And, again, they say, well, sages around 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, Hindu culture was, this is where it all started. But then there's this other belief that it really came from the Anunnaki, those who came from heaven. And God gave them the blessing of such powers by touching their forehead. So in some of the ancient writings or some of the stories that have been passed down from, so many thousands
Okay, so it
of years,
really has an ancient root in that story, not a modern one. Yeah.
Not at all. No, this is very ancient, and it's saying that, this was given to people by those who came from heaven. So interesting.
It is.
But, it's an interesting part of the story.
Yeah. Well, let's say hello to Chantal.
Yes, let's bring her on.
Welcome, Chantal. You're live on the air. How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. So you're on the West Coast, right?
I'm in New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Okay. How's the weather out there? We want to know.
It's always beautiful here. We have sun about 300 days of the year. But it does get moody, so it changes from windy to cloudy, but always ends up sunny at the end of the day.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Heaven
different than
Earth.
New England.
Yeah, we're all jealous now.
It is beautiful.
So Chantal, please start introducing yourself to our wonderful audience. Tell them a little bit about your background, which is so interesting, where you come from.
Well, I grew up near San Francisco in the Bay Area, and I was raised by my grandmother, who was from Jakarta, Indonesia. And I'm first-generation American. My family came over from Indonesia and then Europe, and then I was born here. And my mother was very young when she had me, so my grandmother ended up raising me most of the time. And from what I understand now is that that's pretty typical in an Asian culture, is to be raised by the grandparents because they have a lot more knowledge in that sense of how to raise children. And then, it was really an interesting blend of East meets West. So I grew up with a lot of superstitions and being able to see different dimensions and realities because my grandmother was like that. So it was almost like direct training. My grandmother was sort of a shaman, and my mother was kind of out of the way, so there was no interference with some of the training that I received from my grandmother. So I got lucky in a sense.
You sure did. My goodness. So you had training from what age? When did you actually start receiving knowledge from your grandmother?
Well, it was just always inherent. It was just a part of our everyday life. There was no separation between what was real and what wasn't, in a sense. So I guess I started as soon as I could understand things.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm getting her as a very loving woman.
Yeah, she's amazing. I miss her terribly.
Yeah.
And so did you always then feel that you had this spiritual path that you were going to follow no matter what? Did you always feel you had that kind of direction that you received from her?
I think it was in my blood. I think I rebelled against it a lot. My first training was in feng shui, so working with energy in the home and in space and landscape. And that was like a natural ability that happened over time. But then I went off and did a whole bunch of crazy other things and ignored it. And then on my 30th birthday, my grandfather came back, who had already passed over to the other side, and came back on my 30th birthday and gifted me with an experience that wasn't from here. It was everything just opened up in an instant. And then my life changed, and my path started to really form.
Now, when you say everything changed in an instant, was that a Kundalini experience, or was that something else?
I think it was something else. The Kundalini happened about 7 years later. I would say that that night with my grandfather, I was probably what I would call tapped into universal consciousness. So I was part of everything. There was no separation of the body or a me. I was just everything. And then I became really curious. I was always curious when I was young because I grew up in the 60s in San Francisco, and everybody was doing a lot of drugs and hallucinogenics. And I always thought, I bet I can do that, feel what they're feeling without actually doing the drugs. And so all my life I kind of traveled and I dreamt and I astral traveled and things like that to experience different aspects of life that were far more interesting than here. Really. Limitless,
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. It's funny when you talk about the 60s, too, because when I worked for Robert Monroe, who had the Monroe Institute and wrote the best-selling book, Journeys Out of the Body, he once said that the whole reason this drug thing was introduced to our culture from another place was to try to get us to be able to do this kind of thing. But without the drugs. The drugs were just supposed to be the introduction, but of course we all know what happened. People got addicted and never found their way, and some of them didn't find their way out of it. So some did, some didn't. But the way you talk about it, it sounds like the hallucinogenic part of it was of no interest to you, and you didn't have any reason to go there because of your upbringing. So that's really pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. It was fascinating, and I guess that's why I got into energy work, because it's very similar. You play with energy, you stretch it, you push it, you manipulate it, you direct it, you do all these amazing things with it to get results.
And it works.
It does work. I love it so much.
Yeah, I know. Now you've been practicing with energy work. I mean, you have a practice, private practice, and you do group work also, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So that's wonderful. So move us into the place where you had your Kundalini experience. What happened?
Sure. Well, I wasn't doing anything in particular. I just woke up with it one day, and I feel like it chose me because it is a spiritual essence or spiritual energy, and it chose me for some reason. I was totally not prepared for it. And when I woke up, I was sicker than I've ever been, and it wasn't like a sickness that I could track or identify to. It was almost like, like having a migraine, but it was like times 100, and my heart was racing, and I couldn't think. I couldn't put sentences together, and I felt like my blood was boiling. So
my gosh.
Oh, it was really scary, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know about Kundalini so much to, say, oh, this is it. So I did all the things that I knew to do because I knew how to take care of myself energetically, but none of that worked. And so luckily what happened was I had a teacher at the time, and I just called him and I said, make this go away. Just make this go away. I don't know what it is. I don't want it. I'm freaking out. It's rewiring my whole system, and take it away. So that's what he did.
You woke up with this, so there was nothing that came before this? There was nobody who awakened this in you, touched you, or...
Nothing.
Nothing. It was just
absolutely
kaboom.
Nothing.
You just woke, your eyes opened, and you felt like your blood was boiling, and you had a horrible, horrible, horrible migraine headache.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And
I couldn't...
It's almost like being in the grocery store, Patricia.
It's almost like being in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Fluorescent lights and all, right?
No, we're just laughing because I had a spontaneous third eye opening in the middle of a grocery store.
Oh, my goodness.
And, so it's very similar that this shocking thing just dropped on you. And
what did you do? Did you panic?
She panicked. You know what she did? She committed a mortal sin, and she left her full shopping cart in the middle of the aisle.
I did.
That's like against the law. You're not ever supposed to do that.
It's against all suburban law to do a nasty thing like that, but I didn't have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I felt like I was being rewired, but, I'm lucky. It can get a lot worse than what I had. I mean, there's what's called Kriyas, which you go into spontaneous, complex yoga positions. Mm-hmm. Or you hear voices, which is similar to schizophrenia. So, I'm wondering, sometimes people get...
Don't call me a schizophrenic, Chantal.
Oh, I'm not. I'm sorry. But it mimics a lot of those attributes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, you've got this incredible energy. Now, when this was coursing through your system... And, I mean, you didn't think you were having a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or something like that, so you kind of knew that this was a mystical experience?
I didn't. I thought it was – I just kept bouncing around to one thing to the next to try to figure it out. I was online. I was Googling everything, but my mind wasn't really processing correctly. So I could just bounce around, and then I just had to make a phone call.
And how long of a time period were you in that state before you made a phone call?
I think I let it run a couple of days, and then I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah.
2 days. Wow.
Yeah.
And were you by yourself?
No, I was with my partner at the time, luckily, but he didn't know what to do either.
Yeah, I bet.
So I was kind of on my own with it, and thank goodness I had a teacher at the time that could just dissipate it. And actually, I'm grateful that I had it that way, because then it made me have respect for it and not wish for, some amazing spontaneous opening. So I've been very careful and cautious when I went into training on how to use and awaken Kundalini in others.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That go through that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm grateful the way it happened, and it didn't last too long.
So if Kundalini energy came that way to someone, or perhaps even stronger, what does it settle down into being something amazing after a while, or does it continue to be disruptive to the energy system?
It can go either way. It really has an energy of its own. Mm-hmm. What I've noticed is that the more you relax with it and less fear or concepts you have around it, it starts to flow a lot easier. But some people, if you haven't done a lot of the psychological work or energy work on yourself or work through some of the issues that are held in our chakras, then it bumps up against those things. It bumps up against those chakras, and it creates havoc and blocks and all kinds of icky stuff. So it can go either way, really.
Yeah, what is the best thing that comes out of Kundalini energy? What is the highest form of it in how it settles in someone's system?
Well, the highest form is enlightenment, pure, instantaneous enlightenment. One with the universe, ecstatic, erotic, energy, and you know the truth of who you are, and that does happen. And a lot of times people do it or get it with a guru. It's called Shaktipat, and the guru just gives the transmission. But you have to make a commitment because you're so wide open that the guru has to teach you how to manage yourself in everyday life again. It's like learning how to rewalk and talk and manage yourself in everyday life. So it's wide open universal energy in the ultimate sense.
And when you talk about that retraining, you're talking about a retraining that takes place over weeks or months, or how long does it take to retrain somebody to basically live with this powerful energy?
Yeah, I think it really varies, but I've heard like an average could be like a year. But so you have to make a commitment, and you're committed to your guru for life if you do that. And I have a friend who's older, and she committed and surrendered herself to a guru about 40 years ago, and he still is in her mind and being sexual with her. So there can be inappropriateness as well.
Oh.
So you have to be very, very particular on who you commit yourself to.
Yeah, and plus, I don't think I'd want to do that.
No, I don't either.
I'd rather do this on my own, and then it's my own deal rather than feel I owe somebody something. And I think it's interesting because I'm guessing there's quite a few people in the United States who would feel the same way. I think the guru mentality was something that, the Beatles, I guess, brought it to our awareness, but it really didn't stick for the most part. So, yeah, I can see we're going on this path where you want to have some type of activation. The person to talk to about this is you, because you don't demand this this weird kind of loyalty for the rest of your life,
No, definitely not. And the way I work with it is it's very integrated, so it's very it's more subtle, and you can continue on with your life as you normally would, but things start to open up. I believe energy work opens up pathways anyway, but this one really, the heart session really opens and clears the heart so that more can come in and through it, and you can experience more of life. And it almost feels like you can relax into your heart where the universe supports you. It's like it's got your back, and you can just relax with it, and it starts to guide you. The energy of Kundalini is life force energy, and it's more intelligent than us. It created this whole world in a sense. And so what I learned was that if I just follow it, it totally guides me, and it has a much more intelligence than my mind could ever conjure up, really.
Now, do you feel also, Chantal, that the Kundalini energy has a gender? Is it more feminine or masculine, or is it just androgynous, a combination of the two?
My personal experience is it's very feminine, and it sits at the base of the spine, and when you activate it, it starts to move up along the spine, and what she wants to do is merge through the top of the head with consciousness. So that's where the blissful, enlightened state comes from, is where they penetrate each other at the top of the head, at the crown chakra.
I see. So now, with the let's go back to your Kundalini experience. So you had this major awakening. It was unpleasant, and you called the healer, and he shut it down. What happened after that? Did you start to reopen it on your own? Did it come back on its own? Because you've become very comfortable with working with this energy. So how did that take place?
Yeah, I actually stopped doing it completely. I didn't look into it much more than that because it had frightened me so. Mm-hmm. And a few years later, I met with Cindy Dale, who's one of the foremost energy practitioners, and authors in the United States, and she had written a book about Kundalini and came up with a 3-step system to really beautifully integrate it into the body, and it was very natural. And so I had her do it on me, and then we ended up working together, and I apprenticed with her, and I've taken her technique and made it my own, started my own practice with it. So, yeah, so I actually stopped. At the time when mine happened, there wasn't much about the adverse effects of it. It was all about the blissful state. And so I just didn't know where to go with it. There was nothing really out there for me at the time. And then when I met Cindy, it just opened up. So it was just a natural occurrence again.
Well, and I think it's so important that you were able to find somebody to work with who, again, was reasonable and was able to bring this to a gentle place of activation rather than something harsh. And, I just can't imagine, if you had been left in that state. I guess eventually it would have settled somewhere, but it just sounds so terrible.
It was. They probably would have locked me up at some point.
Yeah, so unexpected. I mean, it really came out of the blue.
Yeah, what's so interesting about that is that you didn't even know what it was.
No.
You just knew it was energy, huge energy, right? And,
yeah. Didn't even know.
See, if you heard the voices, Chantal, they would have told you.
I know.
This is Kundalini energy.
Yeah, where are those voices when you need them sometimes?
I know. See? It's all good. So, it's so frightening to be in that position of not knowing.
Yeah, totally,
just
on your own.
Standing in this massive vat of energy, and you have no clue what's real and what's not.
Well, this happened to you, Helene, in the supermarket. You might want to share some of that.
But that's where I'm trying to connect to Chantal on this, is that when they blast you like that, when the universe decides you're ready to be blasted, it's very, very confusing, very upsetting. It's almost like baptism by fire that you never asked for.
Yeah,
and it can be really overwhelming. And I hope that people in the audience who feel that there's energy around them and they don't know why, they should call Chantal or, anybody that works in the field, because those are the experts who know how to handle it.
That's right. It is so important to have somebody like you, Chantal, around when this happens, or if somebody does want to work with this energy, then do it in a good, gentle way.
That you think about it, what would have happened if you didn't know it was energy and you went to the hospital?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. That's scary.
Yeah.
They would have given me sedation and who knows what else. Schizophrenic prescription. I have no idea what they were.
I know. I didn't go to the hospital either, and I think sometimes people need to be more aware of their own spirituality, especially if they're working with it a little bit. It's like a lot more can come your way that you don't really realize.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it happens in all sorts of forms, and I joke with my friends here a lot that if I was having a spiritual awakening out in the middle of the street in America, and I was like hands up to God, one with everything, praising whatever, that they'd probably lock me up. But if I was
white wagon would definitely come. Yeah.
But if I was in India, people would sit with me and they'd be like, "I want that."
Right.
Yes,
that's right.
That's the difference in our cultures.
That's funny.
Well, Chantal, I'm going to ask you a question on a personal level then.
Okay.
One of the things is that when we're doing spiritual work, whatever it is, we're psychic, we're working with energy, we're doing all these things, sometimes I get a little wistful, and not jealous, but just wistful. It's like the universe, I think, asks a lot of us. And in India, people like us are revered. People make their dinner and wash their clothes, okay? And here it's like we don't get that break.
Yeah.
Do you find that regular life kind of, you have to be careful about how you schedule your regular life?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think for me, I try to integrate it as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, I don't know, maybe I participate less in that sense into the real world. Mm-hmm. And I kind of live in my own world that's, you know, with people that are more, I don't know, supportive, I guess, of that. Mm-hmm. And
well, I know you are awesomely, you have amazing expanded consciousness at all times, you know. And I was just wondering if that the real stuff. Not real, not that any of it's real anyway, but you know what I'm talking about, all the bill paying and laundry and other relationships and all of that. You just incorporate it as one huge consciousness, right?
I do. I really try to make everything, all of it, if that makes any sense. And one thing I had to learn was I had to learn to live in my body. That was really hard for me.
Yeah.
I always felt the body was really limiting. But the more I'm in it, the bigger my experiences have become, which is kind of odd because I always thought, well, if I'm just out and, out in space somewhere, then I can do whatever and whoever and be whatever. But when I'm in my body, my consciousness has gotten much greater from learning to live in my body, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the little things, for me, everyday little things are fascinating now.
Wow. Well, on that note, on that awesomely positive note, we're going to take our break. Okay? And I hope that everyone stays tuned. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for staying tuned. You can call in and ask Chantal your question about energy work, your chakras, or about your own personal potential blocks in your system. And our number is 646-478-0828. And when you call in and you'd like to ask a question, please press 1, and you'll be connected. So we were just talking about what a positive experience you've had, Chantal, in opening to the entire universe and sort of being expanded at all times, right?
Yeah, but it took me a long time to get there, trust me.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
Yeah. I was very separated, very, out of the body and not wanting to be here. So it took a long time. Yeah.
What's a tip you can give people who are involved in this kind of work to sort of become one with it?
I think the strongest tip I could give is to learn to be in your body, to learn to appreciate it and love it and move it, move the energy through it, exercise, feed it well. I do a really great practice that I love so much. It's I call it the 4 bodies. So as an energy practitioner, I believe we have 4 bodies: the physical body, the spiritual body, the mental body, and the emotional body. And when I'm feeling off-center or something's not feeling right for me, I check in all the time throughout the day, like, what am I needing right now and which body is it in? And then I fix it, and then I go take care of it. So that's helped me a lot to get into my bodies.
Oh, that's fascinating. So then it's less of a separation. It's more of a checking in with your own system.
Yeah, yep. What's your foundation? That's a big question I ask all the time. What's your foundation? And then move out from there.
And when you feel that there's something amiss, can you give us like a specific example of something that you'll check in with and you'll get an answer? What would that be?
Yeah, well, like if I'm feeling moody, I'll just check in and see where that's sitting. Is it something is it an experience that happened, or is it that I need to eat? And it's usually I need to eat. So I feel better once I eat, yeah. Or if somebody says something that's hurtful and I take it personally, I'll just check in emotionally what needs to happen. And it's usually, if I go for a walk and just clear my head or clear my energy, that seems to do the trick. So it's very simple, everyday things, really. But it's just the awareness to check in on yourself.
And what I really like about this system and the way that you do this is it helps to make sure that you do not react. So you're not caught up in somebody else's thing about whatever they're saying or doing, but it's really being able to figure out what it is you need. And that's so much more powerful than just doing a knee-jerk reaction to somebody who says something nasty or hurtful or whatever. And then you get into it with them, sometimes you can get into it with the other person without even saying a word because it occupies so much space in your mind. And you're having that conversation, that, oh, they said this, and, well, they're no good, and, on and on it goes. And so to really not engage with that is you're offering a wonderful solution, because if you do engage with that energy, then you are wasting your energy, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And you're getting fragmented. Your energy is getting pulled apart, and then you got to spend all this time to try to put it back together in so many different ways. But if you simply just check in the moment, it goes much quicker because it's almost like you repair it in the moment. And your experience is your own experience. The outside world does not need to dictate your experience. You know what I mean?
Yes, I like that a lot, because I think there's a lot of energy wasted on minutia how people get into these petty arguments, and that's exactly what it is. It's almost like mind control, because it takes the power away from you and away from your experience of life and puts it into some soap opera. And, there's never anything to be gained from that. It just kind of runs on its own. It's its own script, and eventually anybody who knows you could write your script, because it's just the same nonsense over and over again. So unhooking from that means you've got to have something to replace it with, and you've just given a wonderful gift to our audience and said, here's what you replace it with.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, too. I think part of it is, too, people who aren't involved in energy work or any big spiritual path work, is the idea that, we're all responsible for our own happiness. We're all responsible for our own satisfaction. And sometimes I hear from people now that, things just happen to them, and, other people invade their space and upset them and all of that. But really that's all our own responsibility and how we react. And so what you're talking about with Kundalini and this expanded consciousness is that we're really getting to the core of being responsible for ourselves, right?
Yeah, responsible and taken care of. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I also like what you're saying about this universal energy that starts to flow, that it actually does nurture you. It actually does, like you said, have your back. and it's smarter than us. I mean, it's all of these higher self kinds of qualities that I'm hearing that are attributed to the Kundalini force.
Mhm.
Yes, very much so. And I would love to bring up one particular thing that no one really talks about with Kundalini, if that's okay.
Please, yes.
Menopause.
Oh, do tell.
So
we need
menopause
details on this.
and Kundalini. So the hot flashes that you get, that is Kundalini right there in its purest form.
Well, my God, I'm
fire.
just filled with it.
Yeah. And when you know it's your sexual energy that's trying to ignite something, then you can use it to your own power. You can use it to heal organs. You can direct it to consciousness. You can use it for so many different things. And, you know, in spiritual terms, when a woman, as a woman ages, she steps into her power, especially after menopause. And so it makes sense that the Kundalini is rising in the woman at that age to really empower her in all her glory.
But why does it feel so miserable? I mean, I can tell you about hot flashes, believe me. I know them very well. But and I've heard this before, that it's really Kundalini energy. How do you work with it? Because it does not feel comfortable. So how do you work with that?
So I don't
you
know.
Like them?
I do, because I like the heat. I like as I know what it is, and so it's kind of enticing me. You know, it's kind of...
Yeah, but you know what it is, Chantal, but for the regular person sitting at a dinner party turning beet red and sweating profusely isn't pleasant, you know?
Okay, all right. I get you. I would say, if I were having a hot flash and it was uncomfortable, what I would do is I would close my eyes and I would direct it. I would maybe put my hand on my liver or on my heart and move it into that spot and expand it, because that's what it's trying to do. It's healing. It's
trying to heal and it's trying to expand? Those two things?
Yes, absolutely. And it's clearing blockages. It's pushing. It's a fire, so it burns through the chakras, and it opens and clears. And what happens, those things come up to the surface. The icky stuff comes up to the surface for you to look at and deal with and transform and be done with. That's really the point of it.
So we're really going to look at a reflection of our own truth, which is sometimes not that pleasant either. Right?
Absolutely. Yep, you got that.
But then you can clear it, and that's all good.
You can clear it.
Yeah,
exactly. It comes up to the surface to be cleared and transformed.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when women hit menopause, then they're into a powerful time in their lives where this energy it's a natural time for Kundalini. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes. Yep. And, also when you're being sexual during the heightened state, what you want to do is a lot of us take that energy and push it out of us. And the best thing to do was to run it up the spine through the top of the head to merge with consciousness. So you could do that same with the menopause feeling, is take that rush and push it all the way up through the top of the head.
I'm going to
try
that.
Notice. Yeah.
And so for people who aren't involved in this kind of work, I just want to clarify that what you're talking about, Chantal, is that we're moving the energy simply by our own strong intention and thought. Is that correct?
That is correct. And imagination.
Yep.
And you can use your hands to move it, and if that's helpful to be more tangible, run it up your body. You can do that. And what you'll notice is when you start to direct this energy is that you are really having your own experience and relationship with it. That's really the kind of the point, is to have your own intimate experience with it and what it can teach you.
And besides the teaching aspect of the Kundalini energy, there's a lot of power associated with it. Power in lots of different ways. And what else have you noticed or do you know about with the Kundalini energy once it's activated? Do people become more psychic? Do they become telekinetic? What other kinds of things go on with that?
Yes, you can definitely open up your gifts of hearing, seeing, and feeling, becoming more psychic in that sense. You can raise your level of consciousness or begin to activate your light body. The sessions that I do, I think I should maybe speak from that place more. because it's what I really know, is that it changes your frequency and raises your vibration. And what that means is that you have less of separation between you and everything around you. So everything becomes more merged, and your experience becomes vast. It's not limited to everyday reality in that sense of how we use the mind. So you almost become more energetic in nature, which is really our true nature, is energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're more in tune with the elements and the rhythms of the earth and the planets around you. You're more in tune with others and what's needed, and in tune with yourself, really. And so I find all that very empowering.
So when somebody has an awakening and they have a lot of blocks, I like what you said about the description, that it's basically this energy is coming up against these blocks and bouncing off them. Right. And is there somebody that you've worked with that you could give us an example, obviously without giving them a name, but somebody who had that happen, and then how do you help them through that?
Well, I would say I had a gentleman overseas that knew what was happening to him, but he had no control over it. And he thought he was going crazy. I mean, just like we had said earlier. And
did you perceive his blocks in a certain place? I mean, in a certain chakra?
Most of it was actually his mind. So it was third eye, crown chakras, and neck, because of communication. He was having a hard time with communicating it. And what we did is because he had just nothing but fire going through him, so like fierce fire. So his consciousness was like, moving at the speed of light, and he had a hard time just functioning in his life. And so what we did is we just kind of like brought in the elements of water to kind of smooth the fire out, and opened up and cleared the chakras to get the energy flowing through it.
And was he able to then ground this energy out and go from that point, or what happened to him?
Yeah, we actually worked a few times, and he was starting to affect his wife. She was starting to get some of the repercussions of the energy he was downloading into his system. So he had to be careful because he didn't want her to have a full-blown attack like he did. So we just worked on continuously smoothing it. But the thing that worked the best for him was breaking down concepts and constructs in the mind of what's happening, and going into the energy itself and feeling it and experiencing it.
Well,
I think the biggest problem that anybody can have with any of this kind of work is fear, right, Chantal?
Absolutely. It's number one. Yeah, it'll block everything.
The way you're talking about this with this gentleman and his wife, it almost sounds like it can be contagious.
Yeah. It can. Absolutely. That's how
a new
gurus,
kind of contagion, an old kind of contagion. But it is interesting to think of it that way, because certainly if it can be passed from one person to another, from guru to student, then it could certainly be passed husband to wife as if it's some kind of virus. So,
especially
that's
if
fascinating.
it's intimate. Especially if they're intimate together, absolutely.
Wow.
It's like lightning, playing with fire.
It really is. In fact, aren't there some beliefs, and I don't know, I don't mean to scare anybody with this, but we talk about spontaneous combustion and how that has happened, and it's inexplicable. Nobody has a reason for it. But I have heard people discuss this in terms of Kundalini gone awry, that it's instead of there's a flow of the energy going up and down, it's the flow of the energy just going up in a spontaneous combustion motion. And have you heard that before?
I have. I actually have heard someone who ruptured one of their lungs with that.
Are you serious? What happened?
I don't know. It was a story I heard from somebody. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a pretty good story.
Tell us.
But yeah, I wouldn't doubt it though. I mean, it is powerful. You don't play with fire. You be careful.
Yeah, because it can burn out of control. I mean, we all know that we enjoy the fire in our fireplace on a cold winter evening, but certainly if it spread throughout the house, it would not be enjoyable anymore.
No. Right.
So it's kind of the same thing you're discussing. And there is a lot of clarity that people have to have if they're going to have a smooth experience here, right? I mean, if you've got a cluttered mind and a cluttered life and the way you approach things, you're not taking responsibility for your emotional self. I mean, I would think that's going to be a rough ride if the Kundalini energy gets activated.
Absolutely. I think taking spiritual responsibility is just as important. You know, I mean, we're out of the closet with all this stuff now. There's no reason people, you know, shouldn't be, like, playing with it or exploring it a bit. It's important. It's a whole different dimension to life.
Well, it is. I mean, it adds so much, but, you know, there's also the side where you have to kind of be ready to contain it, and you have to have a good container for it, I guess is the way to say it, yes?
Yes, absolutely. Cleanliness, keeping it clean and open and free-flowing is the best container.
And then, you know, when you talk about, too, the chakras, can you give us some more insight about each of them and certain blocks that can get lodged in one chakra or another?
Sure, yeah. We could talk about the root chakra, which is probably the number one that has the most junk in it because it has all our survival techniques stored in it. And so we have relationship, money, love, work, all that's kind of sitting in the root chakra. And that's where really Kundalini sits. So if you'd like to activate and get the energy flowing, you definitely want to do work around the root chakra to get the energy flowing upwards, because once it's activated and once it's moving up, then you're in a much better situation of experiencing it in a beautiful way. So some of the blocks, clearing of the blocks, and that is actually working with the energy practitioner is probably your best bet, because they know how to move the energy or assist you with some of the beliefs that are sitting in there and getting them up and out of the surface and transforming them. Some of the other things are body movement. Sorry.
Give us an example of, let's say you encounter a client, and I'm sure you've encountered plenty of clients that have blocks in the root chakra. As you mentioned, there's going to be a block. You're going to see it there. And then how do you clear it as an energy worker? What steps do you take to also help guide this person to get in touch with it?
Well, I go into what's called a theta state, so it's more of a meditative state, and I'm able to see what's going on in there, and then we talk about it. We have a dialogue about what the possibilities are of where it occurred, because it usually has an origination point. So we look at that, and then in the energy work, it's so hard to explain energy in words, you know, it's more of an experience. But in the energy work itself, we pull it out. First we name it. We know once it's identified, then it can't be hidden anymore. And then we actually are able to transform it and unravel it and let it go. And
so it could be what? It could be resentment over not having money, or it could be the way that someone grew up poor, or somebody could have grown up in a way that the parents had money, but it was lorded over their head. I mean, are those the types of things you're talking about?
Yes, those are some of them. Other ones are belief systems, like I'm not worthy, I don't deserve, I'm not good enough. There's a lot of beliefs mostly sit in there. That's mainly what I work with, is the belief system.
Mhm. And then what about people who have addictions? Do you find that also has some space in the chakras?
Yes, I think they're held. That pattern is held in the chakras as well. And it's usually somewhat genetic, passed down from parents or family members.
Mhm. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and a lot of our patterns are actually passed down. So a lot of our patterns aren't really us at all. It's just things that we grew up with and identified with, or handed to us.
Well, they say the sins of the father, right, will be visited upon the son. So I think some of that is what you're talking about, that whether we get imprinted with this or whether it comes in genetically, there is certainly a lot to be taken into account and cleared. And you can sense all that when you start to do this work with people.
Yes, very much so.
Any particular people that you've worked with that stand out as a shining example of how to transmute this stuff?
Well, a lot of my clients are other healers, which I find kind of interesting. So there's already a sense of energy work there. And I'm trying to think of one in particular. Which kind of example would you like with the root chakra?
Yeah, you might as well, because you said that's one that's pretty common.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of one.
And also, as you're thinking about that, I'm just wondering, do more men have blocks in the root chakra or women, or is it just equal?
I would say, in my experience, I work with mostly women. I find that they're more open to energy work. So I wouldn't know about men as much. Men seem to be a little bit easier to work with. Women are a little bit more complex energetically, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think because they are more in tune with things overall. They kind of grow up that way, and our culture supports that. So, and we're more emotionally based as well.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's more going on there, and possibly the potential to hold more inside, because still our culture doesn't really want to accept people being emotional. So there's a tendency to hold it in, even today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and we have a lot more complex gear down in that area, in the abdomen, pelvic area,
That's true.
Yeah.
So have you thought of anybody? It's a shining example
I'm trying to think of
transformation?
someone. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a good example. I guess I can just pick one with beliefs around money.
Yeah, that's a good one, because everybody has stuff around money.
Yeah. So what I found with blocks around money is about the relationship to money itself, and it's also about what the stories or the messaging was when they grew up from the parents. So that seems to carry through into the body, into the chakra. And when we start to look at the relationship around money, we, in a sense, it sounds a little bit strange, but it's also the relationship to the universe or to source as being supported, and how we're supported and what we're doing to get the support that we need.
It's interesting what you're saying, because, and I'm not surprised to hear you say this, because I know years ago I had taken a workshop with somebody in Boston on this issue of emotional ties with money. And the first thing that came up, which this person taught us, and because there were a group of therapists that went to learn about this, is that money is intimate. It's, we're taught to kind of think of it as, well, it's cold, and it's a very intimate thing. So it goes right along with what you're saying right now.
Yeah, and in the spiritual terms, money represents love in a sense. So, do you have problems how you're nurtured, how you're taken care of.
So money problems are really reflecting nurturing issues, intimacy issues, self-love issues. Wow, there's a lot to learn there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Hadn't really thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So that's very, very helpful. So for all of us that are here tonight talking with you, this is great information, because, again, there's a lot of scarcity thinking right now. There's a lot of fear thinking around money that's lodged in our root chakra, and so there's got to be ways to clear this, because it's uncomfortable. So you're saying...
and
go ahead.
In the manifesting group that I've been holding, what we've been doing is blessing each other for the abundance and making wishes for each other in infinite ways, because it gets us out of that poverty mentality of what's in it for me, what about me, how am I going to get mine, and it really puts us into the other person and their well-being. And so it opens up space within ourselves to have our energy move through us again. And it's the same concept as the Kundalini, It's opening up that space. When we're always trying to fix ourselves or, improve ourselves, we kind of hold tight and feel constricted, and we're always, working on ourselves. But if you actually open up, and wish someone else well and get out of that poverty mentality, then everyone wins. All energy is moving.
I like that. I mean, there's a lot more freedom in that versus that thought of there's not enough for everybody and I better run in and get mine.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
So that's a constriction, whereas you're talking about open up and you will see you feel all the abundance rather than the restriction. So you want freedom. as your goal. And I know this is a wonderful manifesting group that I'm in with you, and I love your group. It's just been a wonderful experience and a very powerful experience that you've brought to all of us in how to manifest. And we're going to take a short break because we're coming up on the half hour again, but as soon as we come back, let's start with how to manifest using Kundalini energy.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
I have to hear this.
Stay tuned, and if you have a question for Chantal, call 646-478-0828 and press number 1.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Welcome back, everyone. We continue our fascinating discussion with Chantal Monte, and you can find her website at supernaturalgirls.com. And I believe that your website is chantalmonte.com. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Oh, great. And people can contact you. Do you do a lot of phone sessions as well? I know you do phone classes, right?
Yes, I do phone sessions and classes, everything by phone.
Great. That's great. So we were talking about manifesting before the break.
Yeah.
And what can we do? Well, let's say somebody has no idea what Kundalini is. They'd talk to you, and you would be able to open that in a very gentle way for them. And then how can they utilize it to actually manifest what they'd like in their life?
Well, so there's 2 different sessions I offer, and they go together. So you have to do the first session first, and then the second one after. And the first session is about the heart, but the second session is about bringing more of your divine self into the body. So when you do that, what happens is that I describe it as you're on your path, but your path becomes more narrow because you become more focused on your purpose, and so therefore you're less distracted. and you know what you're here for. So all your gifts start to open up, and manifesting becomes quite easy because you're no longer distracted and you're completely stepping on your path. So it's very beautiful to see the flowering that happens with that. So that session 2 is definitely the manifesting session and living in your higher self. But if we were to just right now take it as a practice without the energy activation, there's a couple different ways that we could manifest. And it may sound a little strange, but I'm going to tell you anyway, okay?
There is no such thing as strange on Supernatural Girl.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm in the right company then, for
you
sure.
Are.
Okay, so there's 3 main paths to Kundalini. One is Kundalini Yoga, meditation, and sexuality. And sexuality is by far, I find, the most powerful and the most potent and fastest track. And with the new energy that's come on the planet, it takes 2 to manifest. So co-creating with the universe or with each other, it's much more powerful than when we're trying to do something on our own. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's something people don't think about, I think.
Yeah. Well, I teach that in the class, in the manifesting group as well. But with Kundalini Yoga, there's a practice called fire breathing. And what you do is you use the stomach as a pump to take the energy from the back of the spine and push it up through the top of the head. And the way you do it is you sit in meditation posture and you start to push your stomach muscles in and out really fast, like you're panting. So it sounds like you're panting like a dog. So it goes like that. And what it does is it pushes the energy, like I said, from the base of the spine to the top of the head. So you're really pushing fire through all the chakras and opening up energy quite quickly. But you only want to do it when you start like 30 seconds to 60 seconds at a time because it's really powerful, and you can, what's it called when you get dizzy? Hyperventilate.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with it. But when you do that, when you push the energy through the top of the head, then you can imagine or feel into the body what it is that you're desiring to manifest. So, and if you can't pant like a dog, then get a a heating pad and put it on the back of your spine to heat up that spot.
Oh, so that works too.
It's kind of like cheating Kundalini.
Oh, that's so funny. I like that, though, because it's like the lazy person's way.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just too tired to pant. Then get the heating pad.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to try the heating pad.
Yeah.
I'm going to try the panting, too.
Tuning forks work great, actually, as well.
Tuning forks. Any particular tone or note that you use?
I don't know them very well, but I've experimented with them, and you hit the fork against something, and then you put the base of the fork on the spine, and the vibration just opens everything up. It's very erotic. You should try it. I highly recommend it.
Wow.
See, heating pads, panting, and now tuning forks. Okay. Well, I'm ready to try it all. I think it's fascinating because it is energy, but again, it's a sacred energy. It's a powerful energy. It is that transformative fire. I mean, I think of the phoenix, where the phoenix regenerates from the ashes. And it's kind of like if you really want that in your life in terms of a total transformation, this would be the way to go.
Yes, it's the fast track. For sure.
Do you think, Chantal, let me ask you this question. Do you think that this is something that we're meant to activate, that this is a God-given gift that we're supposed to be working with, or not?
I do if you're gentle with it and respectful of it. I mean, there's a lot of schools of Kundalini that say absolutely not. You must be pure. You have to have a practice for years. You have to be with a guru. There's lots of schools, but as an energy practitioner, I don't have that kind of power like when people like a guru would have, So I'm more playful with it and lighter with it. So I would say, my suggestions won't harm anything.
Right. So you're not going to activate someone and demand loyalty for the rest of their life.
No, and I can't turn on everything all at once like a guru can as well, you know.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I have a certain quality to it.
Yeah, and I would think you're also going to leave it up to the person. I mean, it sounds like the way that you work in partnership with the person rather than doing something to them, you are doing something with them.
Yes.
Now,
yes, and it's up to their system. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, do some of the people that work with you go on to, like, more powerful Kundalini experiences, or do they kind of work with it in the gentle way that it's opened?
You know, they've really, most of them, their path has been very gentle, so I would say the results that they have had is that their life unfolds in a really beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have the full, powerful, one with God kind of experiences with me, but they have their life really beautifully unfolding as it's meant to be. So it's much more graceful and easy.
And, you know, that is happening in the manifesting group, I find, because we've been doing the manifesting group now for 3 weeks, and I've enjoyed it. I highly recommend it to everybody in the audience who's interested in manifesting and Kundalini. It's been very powerful, but again, it's reflective, Chantal, I think, of your gentle energy. It's your energy is very gentle, very consistent, and you know, we are able to move forward in a way that's unfolding like a flower opening, I think is the way I would describe it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very intrigued by something you said earlier about how it takes more than you can manifest more easily with more than one person. Can you talk to us more about that?
Yeah, so I've noticed the big deal with December 21st, 2012 and the cycle ending, and then we're moving into the new energy and the new cycle, world cycle. And the Mayans are calling it movement. And what they say is that it's time to learn the truth of who we are and really who we are with each other. And it's about the space between us. It's who we are relating with and what we do together. It's not about individuality. I mean, like when I go to Bali, it's God first, spirit first, offerings all day long. You know, it's not about the individual. And they live a very beautiful, seamless life, and they feel really whole in their bodies. They're not lacking or missing or fixing, or they're not doing any of that mind stuff. And so there's like this wholeness that happens when you connect with another person, and then it's really supporting the new energy that's coming onto the planet. The universe wants to be a part of everything that we do. And so when we're wanting or desiring something, the universe wants it and desires it as well. There's no separation between us. And so when I'm working with someone or manifesting with someone, we're all doing it together for each other. It's a much different paradigm.
Increase the power? I mean, it just seems like it does.
Yeah.
From what I've experienced in the group, just the awareness that we've come together to manifest. I mean, just that conscious awareness seems to wake something else up.
It does.
Whether it's the higher order, but it appeared to me that when you brought that manifesting group together, it felt like there was an energy almost knitting, is the only way I can describe it, knitting a whole other level of reality and on top of it. So it just began that creation process.
Yes, it does. It's like another mind opens up on top of ours with ours.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, because I didn't know how to say it, and you said it beautifully. That's what happens. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So the suggestions that come from all the other people in the group may not have thought of it themselves. It's like the joint energy between us creates this new vibration for us, and new ideas come through. They just come through.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, because any energy circles or group meditations, things like that I've been involved with or run, it's just like this whole new vibration comes over everybody that's involved.
Right. It's real palpable. I mean, if you walk into the room, you could feel it. You know, it's almost so tangible.
It is that big.
Yeah.
And also people can explore their blocks. They can explore where they feel they're stuck and pass that energy through together in the group.
Yeah. Or we could call them out on it as well. Hey, you're blocked over there. You need to do something about that.
Yeah, exactly. I see that block.
Yeah, you're hiding that block. Can't hide that block in this group.
Right. Let's get rid of that block. But, yeah, I mean, it's a time when people are feeling, I think, very powerful and very powerless at the same time. It's quite the conundrum. So I think bringing people together in a manifestation group is a brilliant way to go. And, I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to have a great experience with Chantal of Kundalini and manifestation, because you also call the Kundalini energy in at the beginning of every group, so we all get to experience that.
Yes, and I open the heart and the channels of energy to flow through easier.
Yeah, and it's really does feel good. It doesn't, again, feel overwhelming or like you're going to spontaneously combust or anything like that. No, it's very gentle and very healing energy, and it's great. It's great. So it's a great way to manifest and awaken another part of you. So it's now, how many manifestation groups do you usually do during a year? Do you offer them like every month, or how often can people sign up with you for this?
Well, it's fairly new for me. I've just started them about a couple months ago, but they've been doing really well. So I'm doing one a month, but 2 nights a week. So I have a Monday night group and a Tuesday night group currently. And it starts every month at the beginning of the month.
And they go for an hour each, so it's not a huge commitment of time, but it's a powerful commitment of time for that hour.
Yep, and there's only 4 of us, so it's really intimate, and everyone gets 15 minutes to work through. Yeah, it works out really nice. Mm-hmm. And it's really supportive. And then you give yourself homework for the week, and then you get to share your successes and your struggles on the next week, and then more suggestions and support comes in for you to keep going.
Yeah, that's great. So you offer those groups, and then then you offer your personal, the private sessions one-on-one as well, right?
Yeah, I do the Kundalini activations one-on-one. I also do the intuitive readings one-on-one, and then I've been exploring awareness, more consciousness, which is my new favorite thing to do. As an energy practitioner, we never get bored. We're always on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. And so tell us more about this next thing, this awakening.
Well, I'm having my own awakening, and I'm just, I guess I want people to come with me. I want company. So I'm pointing it out to others and say, hey, look over here. Because I always believed since I was little that, enlightenment is such a charged word these days, but I don't know what else to use. So I always thought when I was little that someone could just say, it's right here, just look right here. It's that simple. It's that simple, and yet it's that complex. And so I'm trying to do that now with others, just saying, look right here, it's right here. Can you see it? Can you feel it? What's going on in there? So I've been exploring that in my sessions with others, and people are seeing it and experiencing things. It's pretty amazing.
And what did they see? What did they experience when you say, look right here? What happens? What do they see?
They see the entire universe inside of themselves.
Wow.
I know.
So they
we're much more powerful and connected than we realize until someone says, hey, look over there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And again, people in the United States are going to want to know when they hear this is, okay, so what? It's like, all right, so I see the entire universe inside me, and then what? My life's going to get easier. You know what I'm saying?
And then you still have to go grocery shopping and make your bed.
Darn it.
Well, it just gives you, I don't know, for me it gives me more connection, and it gives me unlimited potential. I just found it fascinating. What can I do with it? Where can I go? What's going to happen? It's endless in its infinite possibilities. And in the real world, I can feel more connected to everything around me. There's not really a me. It's like, where am I located? It becomes that vast. I mean, we are conditioned to think of a me, right, our individuality, right. And I'm looking through my eyes out into the world, and that's my experience. But when you actually learn about consciousness or become more aware, what happens is you realize you're as vast as the sky above you and looking down into the room. That's how big consciousness is. And that's, if you can change your perspective on that, everything changes in an instant.
And when it does, you feel how? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel free? How do you feel?
Yeah, free and living in truth, which is fresh and alive in each moment. There's no constructs. There's no limitations. There's joy, complete, utter joy.
I think there's also reduced reaction to what goes on around us, right, Chantal?
Absolutely, because it's not personal. Awareness just wants to experience. It doesn't care if it's good or bad, what we call good or bad, positive or negative. It just is. So we're not manipulating anything.
Now, when you also talked about the light body with Kundalini and awakening and this new awareness. Now, did you find after you had your Kundalini experience, the big blowout, and then you started to learn how to do this more gently, did you find that you had more freedom to travel at night, more astral travel or beyond the astral plane, that your light body actually became a vehicle for you?
Yeah, but I've been doing that since I was little, so that didn't really change as much. My learning was to get in the body.
I see.
But I'm the opposite. I think most people would have what you're describing, but mine was the opposite.
So you were trained at an early age to occupy your light body and travel by your grandmother?
No, I did it by myself because I didn't like it here.
Okay, so it was the escape route, but you had one.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
You're
and
lucky
I still,
you had one.
Yeah, I had it forever. I've had it forever. And I don't escape as much. I'm really learning to appreciate what's here. So that's been my learning.
Now, what about illness? When people have a major illness that they're dealing with, do you feel that it corresponds to a block in the chakras somewhere also? Is there a corresponding piece that we in this culture may be missing?
That's a deep question. Let me look at that.
Okay.
I think it's possible. Absolutely, I think anything's possible. So yes, I think it's possible. I think that we we constrict and we hold things in our chakras, and when that happens, it starts to build up and back up. Backs our system up and creates illness. I think what's prevalent in our culture is that the mind is living the life instead of being the observer of the life. And so we're living from like our neck up a lot of the times. And we're like an alchemical experiment. If you take a thought and it's a negative thought, it goes through the body and creates a reaction. If you take a positive thought, it creates a chemical reaction in the body. But the truth is the mind does not know the difference between what's real and what's not real when it comes to your emotions. So let's say you had an experience when you were a child, and it was not a good experience, and you can still remember it like it just happened yesterday, even if it's 30 years later, right? You can feel the anger or the upset. You can take it to therapy and work it out. So it's still there. It's still in the body. It's still in the memory. And what happens is if you actually change your mind around it, like if you close your eyes right now and imagine that situation and feel the ickiness in the body, right? And then if you recreate that scenario and make the outcome different, like how you would wish it had been, you have a whole other experience in the body. So the mind doesn't know the difference. It's up to you what you do.
Wow, that's remarkable.
We have 60,000 thoughts a day. How in control are you of your thoughts? Well, not very many. We pull out maybe 10, 20, 30 a day and manifest them into form. So my suggestion is to be really particular on what you're pulling down, what you're pulling into the body as the experiment.
Well, that makes sense because these things are all vibrating at a certain rate.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing this stuff in and it's vibrating at a chaotic rate, then that's kind of what you're eating energetically, and that's what you're stuck with energetically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I can see how it could all end up being very disruptive. And here in this culture, again, we're not very particular oftentimes about what we think, what we say, it just happens. And then we're not as aware as we should be about the effect that that's going to create over the long haul. I'm not, again, talking about one errant thought. I'm talking about the crazed monkey chatter that most of us have. It's just like constant barrage of crap. And, of course, I would think that stuff is the stuff you're talking about that can get stuck in the chakras, start vibrating at an off rate, and then the next thing you know, you've got problems. So
right, exactly, illness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that could be any kind of illness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you get more in your body, I know I keep repeating that, but that's, I guess, my thing right now. That, what are you going to believe with the mind? I think the mind, a lot of it has its own wiring that's particular to this form or this human body of ours. Mm-hmm. So everyone has a particular wiring to their body. And that if you can get more in the experience of whatever you're doing in your everyday life, be in the experience and then the feeling body more of it instead of what you think about it. It's a whole different relationship to what your life is.
Yes, I mean, it's the first way, it sounds kind of empty, and you're, again, at the effect of something. The second way, it sounds complete and whole, and you're in charge.
Yeah.
And, here's a question I have for you about Kundalini. And, there's a lot said about the matrix and how we are all plugged into it. How do you unplug from the matrix? Now, can Kundalini help you unplug from the matrix?
I think so. I mean, that's what it did for me. It really got me on my path. And I always wanted my path to be like everybody else's path, which is, to me, the matrix. And it wasn't. As soon as I did the Kundalini work, I was on my own matrix, so to speak.
So you got unplugged as a result of that.
I did. A lot of ways I really did.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is key because with everything changing so quickly on the planet, energy grids moving and all of that, that it sounds like this is the way to go to make sure that you're not hooked into some old matrix that's going to drag you down. And this has so much built-in freedom with it. That's what I like about it, too.
Yeah, and you've experienced it. I remember
I have.
Session. Yeah.
And it's, again, been extremely gentle, and that's what's been amazing to me because, again, so much of what I've read was like your experience where your blood's on fire.
I know. Who'd want that? Ooh.
No, but it looks like, Helene, it looks like we have a question here from somebody in the 770 area code. Should we take that question?
Great.
I think our call screener had an emergency.
Did he fall asleep? And what happened to him?
No, I think he had a little emergency going on. So we're going to take caller from area code 770. You're live on the air. May I ask who's speaking?
My name is Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, nice to hear you. What is your question for Chantal this afternoon, or this evening, I should say? Is she a reader, or she does healing, or what? I'm a little confused.
Hi, Maddie. Yeah. Yeah, I do both. I do energy work and I do readings. Have you had that experience before?
I've had Reiki before.
Uh-huh.
Reiki
How'd you like
it? Healing before.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell what's going on with my body?
Yeah. Let me just take a look. It takes me a couple minutes, though. So if Patricia and Helene would like to talk for a moment, I'm just going to take a look.
Yeah, sure. We have no problem talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Our call screener had a slight emergency, and of course, our honorary call screener this evening is my beloved husband Arthur. And so there was something else going on in the house tonight. So he told me he had to skip for a moment. So.
Okay. Well, I hope everything's going to get back under control.
It's
and I also just want to say again a big thank you to our call screeners for the last couple of months, Megan and Jess.
Oh,
they were great.
Lovely.
They generously
girls.
gave of their time. They were also instrumental in designing and setting up the Supernatural Girls website, all the social media for us. We can keep in touch with everybody in the audience, and the audience can keep in touch with us. I mean, if it wasn't for them, we would not be functioning the way we are today. And I miss them so much. They had their last day on Thursday. Oh, my goodness, and I was so sad to see them go. But now they're graduating. They're going on to bigger and better things, and I hope and wish the best for them. They're just great girls, and we thank them so much.
Yes, we do, and it was amazing to me that such young, vibrant women were willing to give up their Saturday nights for us, Patricia. I was amazed.
Impressive.
That's dedication. Yeah.
And they enjoyed the show. They loved the show. They loved the topics. They learned a lot, and they were tremendously helpful to us. So.
I'm wondering if Maddie wouldn't mind. Maddie, could you be patient while we take a break right now, and as soon as we come back, Chantal will come on and answer your question. How does that sound?
No problem.
Okay, stay with us, Maddie, and everyone else is on the line right now as we go ahead and move right into our last break of the evening. If you have a question, call in now at 646-478-0828.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Thank you all for staying tuned. We're back now with Chantal, who's going to answer a question for our online guest, Maddie.
Hello, I'm here, yes.
Yeah.
Hi,
okay.
Maddie.
Hi.
Hi. So what I normally need is a first and last name to do an actual accurate reading, but for confidentiality, I'm not going to ask you for your last name. But I just have a couple questions for you. Are you having some issues in your torso area?
I'm having some issue in my lower left side of my back.
Okay. And is medication difficult for you to take, or do you have adverse reactions to medication?
No, what I have in my lower back is I was born with a curvature spine, scoliosis, and it presses up against the nerve in that lower left side. That muscle gets real tight, and I guess the nerves get crowded, and it just, a lot of soreness. And I woke up on Thursday morning with muscle spasm. So I went to the doctor on Thursday afternoon. He gave me naproxen, and I took a half of one on Thursday evening after I had something to eat. And when I woke up on Friday morning, I was almost back to normal. But I noticed today that I didn't get my proper amount of rest last night. I noticed today out shopping, I start feeling a little tired, and I start feeling again in the lower back. And tonight, I try to stay away from medication. And I had said that I was going, because this is not the first time I've had this. And I had said that I was going to go see my Chinese doctor, get some acupuncture and some herbs, get that nerve energy flowing.
Yeah, that's a great, perfect idea. Also, you might want to consider doing some restorative type yoga, really gentle yoga to open up that left side.
Okay.
Because you want to make more space in between the nerve and the, and the spine to get the energy moving. And also adding heat, maybe a heating pad to soothe it.
You know what? You are so right. My doctor did tell me to add heat because I had ice on Thursday morning, and I think it didn't help. But it has helped in the past, but this time it didn't help. He told me add heat. Heat brings up circulation, I guess.
Yeah, and also hydration. Drinking lots of water.
I had a tall glass of lemon water by my bedside, and I drank half of it. I'm gonna drink the rest of it.
Okay, but you want to drink at room temperature, not with ice, okay?
No, I don't like ice water. No.
Okay, good.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too cold.
Okay, so mainly what you want to do is create space between the spine and the nerves, and that yoga will help with that, as well as heat and some acupuncture, opening up the nerve endings. Yeah.
I'm
sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you for the call, Maddie, and thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
well, I ask you, Monte. Was it Monte?
Monte,
no,
Chantal.
Montel.
Well, that has to, with the back issue, that still has to do with the lower torso?
Yes.
Yes, it does. All connected, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a nice call.
Well, one more thing I wanted to add for Maddie. I know hopefully she's still listening.
Yes, she is.
To place her hands on that area, so one in the front and one in the back of the spine, and just send it, energy, send it love,
Mhm. Yeah, we're very powerful that way when we connect our thoughts to an intention and channel it right through our hands. We're all capable of doing that, Chantal. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we have another caller we'd like to take, Patricia. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, and we're welcoming Trish on the line. Hello, Trish.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Hi, Chantal.
Hi, Trish.
I have a question around, I have a lot of changes coming up, and I wanted to know if I have any blockages that I should be aware of and what to do to remove them.
Okay. How do you feel about change?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good news. Okay. So I just need another moment, ladies.
Okay, that's fine.
Helene, I have to say, you must be from Boston with that accent.
Well, I don't have an accent. Everyone else does, Trish.
I heard you say my husband.
That's my potty line. That's my potty line in Harvard Yard. That's the way it is.
Trish, where are you from?
New York.
All right.
Nice.
And it's so, but you know what? It's funny. My relatives are from Massachusetts, and you don't sound like the South Shore. You sound more North Shore, if that's even,
Oh, you're a linguist too, Trish. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. You nailed it. That's right. Absolutely true.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what it is. It just seems to be a little different twang from the South Shore.
Did you know you had a twang?
It really is. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, Trish, I don't really see any blocks for you. What I do see are a couple recommendations that I could make is to stay really grounded and true to what you want. So don't compromise too much because it looks like there might be a lot of activity or options that might be, difficult for you to decide on, but really check in with your heart and stay true to what you want. Does that make sense?
I don't know what you mean by check in with your heart.
A lot of times we make decisions with our mind of how we want things to be or look like in our lives. But my suggestion is to get down lower into the body, into what the heart would like. So you would just close your eyes and you put your hand to your heart so you can connect to it, and you would ask. You would ask your heart, what would it like?
Got it.
And then to go slow. It seems like things are speeding up a little bit, and for you to stay in the slower motion of it, so that you can remain true to what it is that you really want. Because it looks like there's going to be some options coming up.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of options. I'm going to be switching jobs and relocating.
Oh, wow. Okay, big ones. Yeah. It seems exciting. I see excitement in your body, I see that more than anything.
Well, that's good. That gives me, a little bit more confidence as I'm moving forward, knowing that nothing else is holding me back.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think there'll be some ties that you might miss, be homesick a little bit, but what my grandmother taught me was to take dirt and water with me so I don't get homesick, and then bring it into the next place and put it outside in the yard.
Really? I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It works.
Oh, I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that tip. Yeah,
that's a great one.
Yeah.
I never heard that either. That's
you
pretty
mean
cool.
water like from a lake or an ocean, or water from my faucet?
Whatever you resonate more with. I usually do faucet.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you
you're
for
welcome.
calling.
Yeah, thank you, Trish.
And we have another caller here from area code 323, and we're going to take a chance and put you live on the air. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Yvette.
Hi, Yvette. Did you have a question for Chantal tonight?
Sure. Any question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask about love.
Okay, what about love?
I guess I've been doing a lot of work on myself, and I feel like I'm in an interesting space. Let me just say that. I feel like there's potentials around me, but nothing has popped off completely yet. And I just want to know what you're getting with me, and maybe, I know there's some potentials out there.
So is the question, because I can't really do timing.
Right. I don't want timing. I just want to know generally where you're getting with me, and, my space, and, that divine mate.
Okay. All right, great. So I'll just need a moment to check in here.
Yes. Yvette, where are you from?
California.
Where in California? Northern, southern?
Southern.
Great.
I'm both, between both, because I have family both.
Oh, all right.
Love is always a big question with people, and especially, I think, when you're exploring for yourself and clearing out a lot of past incidences. It opens a big space, but sometimes that space can be a little bit confusing, Yvette. And so we'll see if Chantal's picking up on anything.
Okay, here I am. All right, Yvette. So what I'm seeing around you right now is that to have more self-love, it's like something you've been working on, it seems like, but there's something that you're not seeing in yourself yet that's really amazing.
Okay.
And it's still a piece that you need to get. Oops. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. So there's like a piece that you still need to get about yourself before you're really able to call it in strong. Even though there are potentials, the strongest one isn't as close to you because there's still a piece for you to get about yourself. Does that make any sense?
Oh, boy. Yeah, potentially true, yeah. I mean, is there a piece, it's so funny, I'm doing something right now, process right now that to, I don't know, divinely open me up to my divinity. That's the simplest way to, to outline it. So I kind of get what you're talking about. So is this an aspect of me that I don't know yet, or is it an aspect of me that I do know that I'm just, not embracing?
It looks like an aspect that's there that you haven't seen.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
So, it's there. You just haven't discovered it yet. And it's like the missing piece. So once you get that, you're home, so to speak. Okay.
So any suggestions on how do I'm doing my own thing right now, but any other suggestions you could see me, is it more about release work and releasing, more past, or is it just me stepping into something that is more of me?
I like the idea of the process that you're already working with. It looks like it's a good fit for you, but maybe just something as simple as looking in the mirror and really looking at yourself, like looking deep into your eyes, and tell me what you discover there.
You're right on point. That's pretty cool. Yes, because I've been doing that.
Have you?
Yes.
Interesting.
So, and maybe it's more recent to a deeper level, maybe. It's very recent. Yeah. I mean, I've done it all the time. I'm not afraid to look in the mirror, and I'm not afraid to, look at myself and see, but I don't judge myself. I'm not judging, I have this and I have that. I mean, I know, just loving yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but just look deep into your soul.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for the call tonight.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Yvette.
What interesting questions, and we have
these
some
are
more
great.
now.
Gosh, I love our audience.
We've got Pat from Connecticut that we're welcoming live on the air right now. Hello, Pat.
Hi. Thank you. I was enjoying your readings. I didn't realize if we need to have a question. I thought people were just asking if you'd sort of check in and see what's up, or do you need a specific question?
I can definitely check in, Pat, but I would need a last name, and for confidentiality, I think we probably don't want to do that. So it would be easier for me if you did ask me a question at this point, if that's okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, I have struggled and battled with anxiety for many, many years.
Okay.
I've actually just started some supplements, and I think maybe that's helping. I've gotten myself off a lot of medication. I'm just sort of fed up, and maybe you can just see what's going on in my body with that.
Yeah. I'll just give you a couple of quick tips that I know about anxiety because I've had it. For me, progesterone has really helped. It's a cream you put on your skin, not something you take internally. And that's helped my body a lot. Also, anxiety, we've been speaking about Kundalini all night, and anxiety is a fire. It's very similar to Kundalini energy. And it's, my question is to you then, have you gone into the fire itself? Have you gone deep into the fire and sat in it, and what happens?
Well, I don't know how deep, but I'm doing a kind of therapy that's letting me into my anger for the first time in my life, and that's been difficult, but also a real godsend. I think I'm through the worst of it, but who knows?
Okay.
And
anger can create a lot of anxiety.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying anger can create a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And usually what's after anxiety is sadness.
Yes, and I think the anxiety is. I mean, I became agoraphobic at age 4 or 5, so I think something happened, and it all goes back to the anxiety, the fear, the anger, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it also looks like there might be a piece of you missing. A lot of times when we have traumatic events, a piece of us checks out or gets fragmented off of us. And sometimes like shamanic work or some kind of energy work to bring the wholeness or the completeness of you back in can help.
Right, yeah. I'm doing, I went for rapid eye movement therapy, and my therapist felt I had dissociative disorder, and that seems to be making sense. And I think, I've done work with shamans before. I've done so much work, and it really seems like this therapy is the one that's going to bring all the pieces back.
Oh, good.
So
I love that.
I think you're right about that, too.
Yeah, and there's a practice that I love. It's called a dyad. And what you do is you practice with a partner, so you need one other person with you. And you have that person ask you, like, the most important question. So my question would be, if I were to work with you, would be like, why are you holding on to the anxiety, or what's creating the anxiety? And you ask that same question over and over and over again. So I would ask you that, and you would answer for as long as possible, right? Until you couldn't think anymore. And then when you paused, I would just say thank you, and I would ask you the same exact question again. And we would do this for like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. My teacher did it for 24 hours with one question.
Wow.
And what happens is you go through all the different levels of yourself, and you finally arrive at the truth. And once you target the truth, it starts to unravel on its own so beautifully. So my suggestion is to try that practice.
Okay. That sounds really good. Powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you, Pat.
Yeah,
thank you
you,
for
Pat.
the question.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Great question.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
What wonderful questions we're getting from this lovely audience.
I'm telling you what, this is the best audience, really.
Keeping me on my toes.
They really are.
Yeah. And your answers are just spot on. Amazing, Chantal. Great work. We do have one more caller before we end the show, if that's okay with you, Chantal.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. All right. So we're welcoming Renee from Colorado. Renee, you're live on the air.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Chantal.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, thanks. My question is, I've been dealing with a thyroid situation, and I've done the laying on of hands to transmit energy. And I don't know, is there a way to maybe bring energy to that chakra area too, just specifically for better healing?
Yeah, that's a great question. Have you tried medication?
Yeah, I do take the medication, but I wish to get off of it. And not be on it.
Yeah. I mean, I like to teach from my own direct experience, and I have a lot of thyroid stuff, so I've been on medication for a long time, and it helps. What I've noticed for thyroid is that communication, speaking. The throat chakra is really the translator between the mind and the heart. And so the clearer you become as that, in that translation of how you're speaking your truth, the thyroid really starts to blossom in a sense, and also getting energy work through the back. A lot of people don't do energy through the back chakras, so the back of the throat would be a really great place to get energy work done, or acupuncture possibly.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I love it. Thank you. Okay,
you're welcome.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you for the call. Have a great night. Yeah.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And that's really interesting what you brought up, Chantal, because the chakras go right through our body. They're on the front and the back.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so you're talking about doing the energy work from the back specifically for the thyroid?
Yes. When I do the Kundalini, I start in the back of the heart. I mean, it's actually a much more vulnerable spot than the front. Our front is so saturated with everything. I also was thinking about the thyroid because, of course, my mind just keeps going, or my energy keeps going with her question about the thyroid. And it's also about not fulfilling desires.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's I did not know that. Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling from her anyway.
And so many people have thyroid issues, a lot of subclinical low thyroid and things like that. It's a huge plague.
And it does have, I know, a lot to do with the communication issue, speaking your truth and all of that, or being afraid to hurt somebody by saying your truth. So there's a real push-pull that can happen in that chakra that can shut it down.
Absolutely.
This has been one fascinating evening.
I know. And you know what? Do we have time to do a few minutes of Chantal's Kundalini meditation?
Oh, yes, we do.
Well,
Yes, we
let's
do.
do it.
Okay. It was starting to get warm in here. Now you want to slow it down.
Well, I did promise people you were going to call in the energy, so.
Okay. All right. So let me just call in the energy now. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And then then we'll slow it down and end the evening with this meditation. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So please close your eyes, and we will begin with our breath by tuning into ourselves. Inhaling and exhaling, opening, expanding, contracting and deepening, quietly settling into yourself. And by breathing in, bring your awareness into your body and notice the rhythm and tides of energy moving. And then upon the exhale, experience what's outside of your body, the noises and the pulses of the world. And continue to breathe, moving inside of yourself and outside of yourself, moving back and forth with the flow of the breath. And begin to notice your internal environment, this body of life, this universe within you, filled with the tides of emotions ebbing and flowing. Now feel your physical body. It's very tangible, holding and containing energy, pulsating and breathing. And then bring your awareness to your mental body, guiding this flow, relaxing and listening. And your etheric spiritual body wanting to soar up and connect to the divine. And let us ask Kundalini herself to arrive in our hearts, to show us who we truly are, to illuminate truth, love, and freedom. Now take your attention and bring it to the base of your spine. And imagine a golden snake that sits there. And watch as this Kundalini energy begins to uncoil and unwind herself. As she unfurls, she brings with her a fire from the gods. And let this warm fire burn a path for discovery as she begins to travel up your spine, reaching for union, creating desire. A desire that is her, a desire that lives within you, as your internal energy heats up with the thought of this fire and desire. Now allow this Kundalini heat and energy to move throughout your body like a river, flowing up and down your spine, touching the physical body and the subtle body, as it moves you along this river of life. And watch as she slinks and writhes as she crawls up your spine, moving from side to side, rippling with effect, causing internal waves of desire, causing you to pause and notice what is here within you always. As Kundalini begins her ascent, she slowly sheds her skin, leaving behind the past and merging with the present. As she crawls up and through the back part of your body, she merges with divinity at the top of your head, the masculinity of consciousness. As they merge together as energy and consciousness, completely intertwined in this dance of life. Kundalini carries the gifts of fire, energy, and light to illuminate love, truth, and freedom. as the feminine energy of Kundalini and the masculine energy of consciousness are now merged at the top of your head. Move their energy down together, intertwined. Slowly and purposefully slide this energy down the front of your inner body, descending down your face, into your heart, through your torso, down your legs, and melting at your feet. Now watch as they go into and through your heart, penetrating your heart. As your heart opens, everything is brought into the light. Light is cast upon the shadows, revealing what was hidden, is now found. No longer misperceptions or judgments, no longer pain and suffering, but true acknowledgement for the love that was hidden underneath the perceptions and pain. Always love. Melt and merge into this vast ocean of love, for this is the ground on which you can play. This is the playground of the gods and of Kundalini herself. You have met yourself here. You know this familiar place before time and thoughts existed. Open into this heart of yours and surrender yourself. Become infinite space. Move within this internal vast ocean beyond thoughts, beyond ideas, and into pure essence. And let go. And notice how your energy feels. Lighter, more open, more divine. You are losing the walls of separation between internal and external realities. This is the way to freedom. This is you unbound and infinitely merged. As we bow our heads down to our heart and thank Kundalini for bringing blessings into our life today. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful, Chantal. Thank you so much. It is just the whole evening has been so special with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that you two beautiful women are doing this together. I love that. You don't get this dynamic anywhere. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For having me.
And everyone can find you at chantalmonte.com, and they should go over to supernaturalgirlswithaz.com and sign up for our newsletter and find your website there. And it's just been a fascinating, wonderful evening, hasn't it, Patricia?
I just wish we could go on for another 2 hours. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you,
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. It's my first interview. Yay.
Hey, it was fantastic, and we're going to have you back because there's so much more to talk about.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful evening, everybody.
And thank you to our lovely audience for listening tonight. And I guess we have to say good night, Patricia.
Oh, gosh, I guess. All right. Good night, everybody. Yeah. Good night, Helene.
Good night.
Catch you next week.
Next week. Who's on next week?
Oh, my God, Kathy Duffy. She is a world-renowned herbalist and aromatherapist. She's going to teach us everything we need to know about herbs and aromatherapy to stay healthy, wealthy, and wise.
That'll be wonderful. People love herbs and aromatherapy.
Oh,
so tune in next week, yeah. Okay, well, good night, Patricia.
Good night, Helene.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with